Beyond the Fairway podcast. What's up, man? It's your boy Dougie Fresh alongside the dreaded wonder Will Lowery himself. You know Beyond the Fairway. It's more about just the conversation within the game of golf, man. We're not giving you those X's and O's. This ain't Brandel Chambly. This ain't Rich Lerner in here. This is me and Will going Beyond the Fairway. And this week, Cameron Champ's coming in here, sit down with us to talk about his win at the 3M Championship and some of the things he's got going on and off the golf course. But before we get to Cameron, let's just listen to this.
I'm going for Corey Connors.
Canada.
Yes.
I'll just see your boy waving the Canadian flag on PTI.
Yeah. Oh, that's what we need. Where's my damn flag? I'm going for Corey Connors. If I had to pick Colin Morikawa, maybe silver. But it's the bronze pick, Doug, is what has me baffled. I'm thinking it could be CT Pan out of China or Scott Vincent from Zimbabwe.
Well, how the hell? I don't even know what to say. Yeah, you know what? For one of the few times, I'm going to give you your kudos. I'm going to give you your roses. Will correctly picked the bronze medalist in this year's Olympics, CT Pan of Chinese Taipei. Will, congratulations on your correct assumption.
I stink with confidence, bro. I stink with confidence. Bro, I'm trying to tell you, look at I even got my stuff hanging off because that's how much I've been celebrating. Bro, I know golf. And who knew that the most 208th person in the world was gonna win the I gotta say this with a straight face, bro. Chill out. I'm being serious. Who knew the most 208th person in the world was going to knock out the third best player in the world for the last spot in the Olympic podium? Who knew that? I knew that. It's a 7-person playoff. I knew that. I knew it was going to happen.
You knew 7 people going to be up there vying for bronze. Okay.
Yes,
No,
Roy McIlroy said it was. Roy McIlroy said he's never played so hard for third place, but I knew he was going to lose to CT Pan.
You did call that, and you know what?
I did call that.
We heard it. You called it. I hate saying that you are correct, but in this case,
ask me about picks next week. I got you.
I will say you did kind of hedge that though with Scott Vincent though. You weren't all
it
the
don't
way
matter.
sure,
It don't. Hey, I called it. It's the bronze. It's the more specific medal. If I would have said CT Pan would have got a medal, okay, that's a little broad. That's not worth the news. But the fact that I was baffled for a reason. And I knew he was going to get that bronze. Bronze, this is no insult. Third place has CT Pan written all over it. No offense, CT Pan. You my guy.
Hey, congratulations to CT Pan as well as Xander Schauffele taking home the gold. Surprise. Rory Sabatini, I'm going to shoot 61, jump all the way up the leaderboard and take silver. I don't think anybody on points bets, DraftKings, none of the betting houses, everybody would have took that bet. Absolutely. Sabatini for what position?
Hey, Sabatini probably wish he could have played that way against the days when he was talking shit to Tiger. He's like, man, he said, I am a whole decade or two late, because if I could play this way against Tiger, he'd probably be in a different stratosphere.
Well, all I know is Roy Sabatini playing for Slovakia, South African playing for Slovakia, their first medal in golf. Congratulations, man. I got no words, but I'll tell you who I am also congratulating this week, Will. I'm congratulating Billy Horschel on successfully completing, or pulling off, should I say, the Billy Horschel Invitational via the PGA Tour. And our man, our homie, Willie Mack, taking the dub.
Yes, absolutely. You gotta give a shout out to the guys over at Cisco. For Chuck Robbins, the CEO of Cisco, and what they're doing, really trying to commit to growing the game, especially partner with the APJ and all the stuff they're doing. But Willie Mack coming through. Now, I want to ask this question, and Doug, this is to you.
Mm-hmm. I don't know who else it would be to, but okay.
Shut up. Shut up. All right. So Willie Mack winning this invitational. Mm-hmm. if he wouldn't have won it, would there have been like speculation or any type of skeptic if he was ready for the tour, even though he made a couple cuts?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
I think what this did is further submit Willie as the player that he is, right? You put me on stage, I'm going to perform. No offense to the guys that play the APGA Tour, and this is just me being 100% honest. Those aren't the best players in the world yet, right? They're not the best players yet. Willie has taken his game to an avenue, to the PGA Tour, to the Korn Ferry, where he has competed with the best players in the world. So if you look at Willie's body of work on the PGA Tour, sanctioned events, Korn Ferry and PGA Tour, is a good bet to win the Billy Horschel Invitational, which, hey, Willie did. Willie shot 6 under par, 2 rounds of golf. But I think the real winner, though, was everybody on Billy Horschel's team that came together to put on a minority-specific event to further grow the game in this diversity and inclusion space. And look, I'm sure Billy was met with some hurdles, some obstacles, but he powered through and he got it done. So like you say, Will, hella kudos to Billy Horschel this week and pulling off the Billy Horschel Invitational. And we can't forget about the APGA Tour and Kim Bentley and all the great work that those guys are doing to further grow the game in the people of color space. I'm excited. I'm still mad, Billy. Damn it. I feel like they see us on here and they just like, those are the podcast guys. I don't feel like my game's getting respected. So, Billy, I'm going to say right now, I'm going to do what I can next year. And don't forget about your boy. I want that invite. I'm just saying. I'm going to earn it, but look for me. Look out.
Well, I'm going to earn it, but in case I don't earn it, I need some love.
I'm trying to figure out who is in your lap. What's in your lap right now? Will, you have looked down like, are you reading? You got cue cards and notes over there? What's happening?
Nah, man. I mean, I'm in my drawers. I got collar shirt, hat, and drawers on right now. You don't really want to know what's in my lap. I got hold on, Doug. I got collar shirt, drawers, and mismatched flip flops. You do not want to know what's in my lap right now.
The funny part is, for the people that do watch the show, yeah, we look all done up, but I got on some hoop shorts. I'm barefoot. You know what I'm saying? We out here just chilling. Hey, but look, let's get to it. Without further ado, it's time to go beyond the fairway with PGA Tour winner, 3-time PGA Tour winner, Mr. Cameron Champ. Let's go. Beyond the Fairway podcast welcomes in the champ, the champion of the 3M Open, Cameron Champ, in the building. What's up, Cam?
What's going on?
Man, we just out here trying to be like you. You know, I feel like that bank account just kind of swole up a little bit more recently. So, can I borrow $1? That's what I need to know. Like, that's my first question. Since
first time we have somebody on here where I can really kind of like have a real conversation that I think people want to know. So, does the money hit your account at 12 o'clock on Monday morning? Or is it something that, you know, that you got to send the invoice and it comes later? I mean, just give us a quick insight, because I don't think nobody knows that question.
Usually, I think prize funds don't hit till usually Tuesday or at the latest Wednesday.
Oh, yeah, so they hit quick.
It just depends on the tournament.
Yeah, well, I never knew. Like, the few PGA Latin Tour events I played in, I never had that. They have all my information, but they never had to use it. So.
Cameron, what's it like getting back into the winner's circle, man?
It felt great. Like you said, it's been going in the proper directions. And last week, it just everything fell into place perfectly. I mean, I played flawlessly, and again, I only played the par fives 1 under last week, which is crazy.
Yeah.
But again, you know, that course, those par fives, they're not really gettable. I mean, they're very tight fairways. You have to position your ball perfectly, or you can make a quick bogey or double, or worse, as you saw on 18 all week. So I think my putter just kind of helped me elsewhere.
And the wedge game was solid too.
You know, one thing you were speaking heavily on, you know, sticking to the game plan. Even though it worked out on 18, are you still happy that you were disciplined and sticking to the game plan?
Yeah, I'm a hit driver there again. So no matter what anybody says, to me, in that situation, driver is the best club in my bag. And with the way that water is, if I happen to just barely push that 2-iron, I'm going to have to drop so far back and then lay up, which the layup shot's going to be difficult, and then hit on versus, again, obviously I double crossed it. Okay, it is what it is, but it was kind of a deal as where my target was, if I hit it straight, okay, I go into the trees, and regardless, I'm going to have a punch out and hit an 8-iron or 9-iron on. If I hit my cut, perfect in the fairway. If not, where I drop, I'm hitting an 8-iron on the green anyways. So it just, to me, hitting an iron there just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And again, the odds of me double crossing that, I'm gonna take my chances every single time with that.
So do you hear that, like, the announcers in the booth, and yes, they are our NBC colleagues, but I don't care. This beyond the fairway. Do you hear about what the announcers say, like, after the event? Do you go home and watch the playback? Because apparently you hitting driver on 18 was like the topic of discussion. Cameron Champ's hitting driver. What the hell is he doing? He's got the tournament won. He needs to keep it in play. Like, do you see that stuff, or is it just like people be like, hey man, Frank Nobilo was talking shit, like?
Nobilo was getting that ass. See, it was no let up on him, and I was getting frustrated. I was about to send a text or email somewhere.
Well, I mean, at the time, I knew I had a 2-shot lead, but I couldn't see down the board because it was so bunched up. So I wasn't sure if there was a few guys at 11 or 12. But regardless, I mean, unless I had a 4 or 5-shot lead, I'm hitting driver. So again, where my miss is, it doesn't make sense not to. Why would I take a chance on a 2-iron in that position with just as much nerves? If I accidentally barely push it too far right and it rolls in the water, then it's like, well, I might as well hit driver. So but also the same scenario is, okay, if I don't double cross it or I hit the fairway, this wouldn't even be a topic. So again, that's just how golf is and how media is. And again, we had our game plan. That's going to be my game plan the rest of my time playing that course. So.
I tell you, Will, Cameron and Joseph and Doc Redmond, we all kind of teamed up to do an event for some youth out at the Rocket Mortgage this year. And Cameron hitting driver, dog, sounds like a cannon going off, and it's the straightest thing I've ever seen. So I'll tell Frank, sit down, enjoy the show, and let's get these W's. Cam, of the wins, this is your 3rd win, all right? Of the 3 so far, which one's the most satisfying?
I would think this one is. Yeah, I mean, I think.
Hold on, Cam. Hold on, Steve. I got to interrupt you. Your 2nd start on tour.
As a member.
You want to tournament as a member. You want a tournament. This is more gratifying.
Yeah, because I think the safe way is that's a whole another category. But as far as gratifying, I think this one is just because of, again, it's been a very struggling year, but again, it hasn't been so much of a struggle as far as what I keep talking about is technique wise or working on the game wise. It's been more, I had to figure out how I'm going to go about my life on tour and how I'm going to go about my life at home and how to manage both of those. Because it's obvious, I think for any of the guys out here, whoever manages at the best plays their best. Whoever has the most clarity in their mind and their process is good and everything is good on both sides, you're allowing yourself to play your best golf. And for me, for a while there, I was just kind of hindering that, and it wasn't so much that there was bad stuff going on at home. I just had to learn how to deal with it and how to manage both of them properly, and kind of be more mature about it and make it more, I guess, my initiative to make sure that I do it right.
Cam, when you're talking like this, are you saying that there was like mental health things you had to like deal with? Because mental health right now, let's just be honest, it's buzzwordy in media and sport. You articulate balance. My question is that do you view that as mental health or just your progression as a man?
I think more my progression as a man. I think, me and my wife just got married. I have a lot more responsibilities than I did when I was in college.
You don't say.
Yeah. So I think it's just progressing as a man. Like you said, you have a lot more things on your shoulders and, a lot more people and things you have to look out for. So again, for me, it's not that I was, uncomfortable with it or that I didn't like it. I just had to learn how to manage both of it. When I'm home, what's my practice schedule going to look like? What's my family life schedule going to look like? How much time am I going to be here? Am I going to be there? When am I leaving? So it's just figuring what is going to work for me. And I really feel like the last few months I've found that, but I just had to just let it just keep evolving and just, keep the process working.
I love how you
go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I love how you talk about your credit. It has nothing to do with the mechanics or the swing tweaks. You credit to a revamped mindset. How much has Jessica played a role into this this new Cameron Champ that we loved in the past week or so?
No, she's been the rock of everything. So again, it's managing both of that. And again, I think a lot of people, as far as fans go, and people out there week to week, they forget that we're just like them as well. We have normal lives at home. I have a family. I have other things that are a lot more important to me than the game of golf. And that's the reality. And again, majority of us, some guys on tour, it's like that, and some guys it's not. But for me, I figured out that is what it is for me. And again, it doesn't mean that I don't love the game as much as I do. It's giving me everything. I'm going to give it my all to be the best I can possibly be in this game, to be number one in the world. But again, family to me is more important than the game. And that's what Jess has made me realize, over this time is, again, I'm going to put all my effort into it 100%. But then again, I'm not going to sacrifice her or my family. So it's been for me, it's been a tough process kind of figuring out how it's going to work, and how I'm going to be able to do that, which I think is why it's taken me so long. But I think now, like you said, I got a way better grasp on it and a better understanding of it.
So what'd you do? You just figured out how to, I'm only going to practice for an hour today instead of 6 hours today. I'm more intrigued as a person. Yeah, this is going to go out to people, whatever. But is there something that you can point to say, this was extremely helpful in this effort?
I think just trial and error.
That's fair.
For me, it's you're never going to learn without failure. So, me, when I'm home, I'm definitely a morning. I need to get up in the morning and go do my practice and get done. To get there by 7:38 at the latest, and you leave by 12:31. You get your 4 to 6 hours in, and then you have the rest of the day. So it's more just prioritizing your time properly, and using it to your advantage when you're home, to where you can have a good balance of both. And then obviously when you go to the tournaments, everything's taken care of. So again, I think it's just a lot more time management, and just kind of making sure that you're sticking to it no matter what.
Well, look, Cameron, we know that we alluded to it just a few seconds ago. Mental health. The Quarter Sisters have come out talking about mental health. Bubba, Matt Wolff took a leave of absence shortly for his mental health. Now we're in the Olympics. Simone Biles taking time out for her mental health. How do you stay balanced with your colleagues and peers and fellow athletes? Everybody seems to be struggling. You seem like you're on the upside of mental health. How do you stay balanced so that your mental health or anxieties don't kind of run rampant?
I still think a portion of the stuff I was going through kind of early in the year was definitely a side of mental health, but again, it's more so having to do with some personal stuff with my background and kind of how it's made me into kind of the person I am now, where it feels like I need more, but I really don't, if that makes any sense.
What do you mean by background? What do you mean by background, Cam? What do you mean by that?
Just because we had serious financial struggles. For a couple of years, my parents per year lived off around 40 to 50 grand a year, which is most families is impossible.
Especially in California.
Especially California, let alone trying to get me to play golf still. So I think it's I didn't know at the time, but it's kind of taught me or got me into a way that no matter how much I earn or no matter how much I win, it's I need more, because we didn't have anything. So it's kind of understanding how I go about things and how I think through things. The last few months has really helped me understand that better. to where I'm kind of able to just release that and realize I have everything that I've ever wanted, just because we didn't have money growing up, and just because obviously I'm having some success and I have a lot more responsibilities doesn't mean I don't have enough. So I think that was a huge key for me, figuring that out for myself, which has really allowed me again to be better on the course, but then also be better at home.
I like that. That's super dope, man.
I love that. It seems like you're having a better relationship with yourself, which is
exactly
which is a key. You're talking about your upbringing and coming up playing golf from a financial struggle, so to speak. Is that what pretty much sparked the MAC Champ Invitational? To focus on identifying diverse talent in golf, kind of helping them in their pathway to success in the game of golf.
No, for sure. I mean, it definitely started whenever Mr. Dickey's event kind of fell off. I know whenever it kind of dissipated, we're like, you know what, we need to have an event, or at least start something, or try to do something. And at the time, my grandfather had just passed, and my dad kind of came up with the idea, and I was like, you know what, let's just see if we can make this happen. And obviously, for the first year, it turned out amazing. So. Again, we're gonna keep working on it, keep making it bigger and better, and hopefully for the years to come, it'll be a lot bigger.
For those that don't know, Cameron's talking about Bill Dickey, who basically is the pioneer of junior black golf. Cameron and I think you and I and your dad met at the Bill Dickey Invitational at Golf Club of Georgia. That was 2011. It's just been a pathway for many of black and brown kids. I mean, just off the top of my head, myself, Harold Varner, Joseph Bramlett, Cheyenne Woods, Sadina Parks, Maggie Noel, Wyatt Worthington, Willie Mack. Like, I'm leaving people off, and I apologize. But the Bill Dickey Cam was such an important event, and I hope that the MAC Champ does just that. With the MAC Champ Invitational, Cam, how are you finding the students and the junior golfers to play? Whereas the Bill Dickey was invitational, but like you had to submit. So how do kids get involved to be seen for the MAC Champ?
Well, we have basically a process of kind of figuring out. Again, the first year it was difficult just because of COVID and trying to work around a lot of things. But as far as the second one goes, we're obviously going to have a bigger field this year, in the ranges of ages, are from, 7, 8 years old all the way up to high schoolers. So, for us, I think as far as the criteria goes, everybody submits their criteria and the tournaments they played in and where they're from, et cetera, et cetera. And then we kind of go through it and pick. And like I said, last year was different just because we had to have a minimal field. So I know we could only pick a certain amount of kids. So this year will be a lot different as far as how many kids we can have.
You picked some good ass players. I mean, y'all had some strong. I mean, you had Bailey Davis who played the U.S. Junior Final. I mean, you had
Ward.
Amari Avery was there.
Everybody.
It was a solid event. So it's exciting because it's two guys, Will and myself, who really want to grow the game of golf and hopefully use this channel via NBC and Golf Channel. Your event is definitely something that gets us going, Cam. But look, this is a unique time in our history as a nation right now, and being one of 4 African Americans on tour, do you ever feel almost like the token for the media and all this black stuff? Like, it's like, oh, George Floyd was killed. Where's the black guy? Well, nope, Tiger's out. Harold's not available. Cameron, we need your take for the black stuff. Like, do you do you feel like you are like this like, I have to speak for black folk, or I got to speak for people of color in my stature within the game, or is that something that's kind of more organic to you?
I think it was way more organic. I think BMW last year was kind of nobody had said anything on tour. Like, nobody said a word. And I was like, you know what, I got to say something. And of course, as soon as I said something, it sparked the whole week. But it was needed. I mean, it's just like you said, on tour, it's not spoken enough at all, to be quite honest. So, and like I said, even that week when at BMW, when I started making those statements, that afternoon, I remember specifically that afternoon after the comments, I went out I had switched my shoes to one white shoe, one black shoe, and I wore Breonna Taylor and George Floyd on my shoes. And I had walked to the range. As I'm getting on the range, a gentleman asked me, "Why are you wearing two different color shoes? And who's Breonna Taylor and George Floyd?" And I just ignored him and I walked to where I was hitting balls. And then again, another gentleman walked up to me that was working the range and said, "Why am I wearing two different color shoes?" and asked me who's on my shoes. So again, to me, that is exactly why I had to do it. I felt like I had to. It wasn't so much for others. It was just more so much for the tour's sake and for my sake and for my family's history's sake and everybody that is involved and who's friends with me, that it has to get started somewhere. It has to. It's just the game is, in order for it to grow and in order for, more people of color, just more minorities in general to get in the game, it has to change. It's so far away from being the potential that it could be. But then again, it takes a lot of people to come together in order for that change to happen.
Obviously in the wake of George Floyd, I feel like we had this. I guess this amount of time to really implement these new changes, or amount of time to have a systemic change. And I want to get your perspective. Do you feel that maybe we're on borrowed time? Do we have a window to where we need to implement these changes, these ideas, so we can have a systemic, successful future in the up and coming years?
Yeah, I mean, I think where the game is going, it's going to take time. Again, it's just the way the process is with everything, with any sport. I mean, it took years for basketball. Again, it's with the game of golf, with how expensive it is, I think that's the main hurdle. It's anybody can go get a ball in some hoop shoes and go sign up for league, and you're going to spend $50 max if you have to. Or football, you got all the equipment, it's a couple $100 and that's it. First golf, I mean, you can't even get a lob wedge for less than $100. So, and that's one club. So I think that's going to be the hurdle, is creating programs or something that involves, budgeting as far as getting kids into the game and certain programs, getting them introduced to where it slowly over time starts to build and build and build and build and build. To where you get more people of color out here, so that way, again, when kids are at home, you turn the TV, you just don't see a bunch of white guys on the TV screen. I mean, let's be honest, there ain't no brothers that are watching golf, want to go play golf when all they see is white dudes, versus you look at the NBA or the NFL and it's all brothers like, you know what, I want to go do that. And that's just
why
how
I really,
it is right
I
now.
really think. That's why I think media is so important. Like, I keep going back to the big break days. When I was on Big Break on the couch as a kid, I used to watch Brian Cooper from Arizona. I used to watch
McNair.
My man
Jay McNair.
McNair from Tampa. And I was just thinking, like, you don't know anything if you're not exposed to it. So if you don't see an African American or somebody of color swinging a golf club, Correct. I really think that is the key to the spark of who knows what can happen. So I'm all
talking
for
about golf.
Just get
or talking about golf. Right.
There you go. We're Doug and I are the only two African Americans on the lineup right now talking about golf in NBC.
We here.
Space. So kudos to that, and I definitely agree with you on that.
No, Cam, look. You wore a black shoe and a white shoe. I don't know if that messed up your vision putting and all that kind of stuff, and I apologize if it did. You had names. You've been an advocate. Look. Have you had those tough ass conversations with people on tour as it relates to waking the hell up? Have you been into any conversations where you've had to say, this is happening, this is my stance, where you at?
And again, where the issue might be is no, because nobody's never come up to me or asked me one single time. So again, I'm not expecting them to. Again, it's a very difficult conversation. Again, for majority
it's
of the
not an
people
easy conversation.
No, and again, for majority of the guys on tour who were country club boys, had everything pretty much given to them. It's it's not a really subject that they really have any knowledge of, for one, or could help me with it. So, you know, there were definitely a few guys that kind of had my support and kind of had my back on the subject. But as far as now, you know, I haven't really gotten into it with anybody about it, or you know, somebody disagreeing with me. You know, if they're disagreeing with me, then we got bigger issues.
That's what I'm saying. It's not an easy thing to do, right? It's not an easy thing to do, but I look at effort, right? So I see guys like Billy Horschel, who's partnered with the PGA, and I think this weekend or last weekend hosted the Billy Horschel Invitational with an exclusive field for people of color to come out and play for some change. I've seen Charles Howell do some things for the PGA Tour as well, and have those conversations. And it's exciting that you've taken, you know, the junior golf route, as well as some of your colleagues on tour that do have some awareness. Let's be honest, this isn't easy. So the people out there listening and watching, we know this ain't easy. But you know, if you're on tour, you got some questions, go holler at Cam. He can straighten you.
Well, holler at Cam or holler at his coach, Sean Foley.
Hey, one thing, Sean. Oh my God.
Sean had me
here.
After a conversation with Sean, he had me wanting to wear a dashiki with a collar shirt. Like it's he could definitely point you in the right direction.
Yeah, Sean's got to be also your shaman as well as your swing coach, Cam. What is it like having a woke ass coach in golf?
Maybe too woke. Hey, Sean had me thinking. Sean's so woke, I thought I was asleep.
Hey, I will say one thing, Sean. If you're behind a cell phone, you would think he's about 10 shades darker.
No question.
You would have no idea. Whenever you answer that FaceTime, white as a crayon. He's about white as me.
Cam, talking about Foley, you know, I've had a lesson with Sean Foley. And half of our 2-hour session was me working on his golf swing. So the quarter of the lesson was us getting into it about Sunni and Shiite wars, which I didn't see coming, nor was I prepared to talk about. And then I got some instruction for, you know, 25, 30 minutes, which he cussed me out. Question for you is, I know that you've had to read the autobiography of Malcolm X given to you by Foley. Like, did you read it? How does this even work? How do you and Foley even go together, man?
Like I said, I mean, if people would have met my grandfather, you would think he's darker than my grandfather. Okay, Foley, he just loves hip hop. I mean, that he loves the black culture. I mean, obviously going to an all-black college, he didn't really have a choice, and he just kind of fell into it, and it's kind of who he is now. So, again, I remember him showing me that. I was probably in high school the first time he ever made me read it, and then it's like every 2 years he'll like whip it out and just send it to me. Won't send anything else. He'll just send that in the text feed, and I already know what it means. It means read it. So. Again, that's just he uses hip hop in kind of the more real hip hop and not what hip hop is today, which is just majority of it's a lot of nonsense. But he uses kind of the underground hip hop culture and the words and the lyrics to kind of really better his life, but then help him understand a lot of things. And so, you know, with some of his players that like it. You know, he tries to use it to kind of help us and mold us. So
yeah, it's so he's like the Phil Jackson of golf in a way, and it's so funny. You know, people say they read the autobiography of Malcolm X, and I ask them all the time, I'm like, if you read it, where's he from? And people can't really answer that question. You know, it's Nebraska. You know, so it's so people that's how you know people read it or not. So I love the fact that he have you reading it and understanding hip hop. I wonder in a way if hip hop, in a way, can somehow be the kind of the liaison of talking to other communities. You know, especially in the golf course realm of like, you know, where we coming from and, you know, our stance on certain issues. Because like you said, I agree the new hip hop today is kind of far out.
It's rap music. It ain't hip hop. It's rap.
Yeah, it's just rap. So, but you know, with a message behind it. So, and Sean definitely is a great ambassador for the hip hop community.
Cam, how long you been working with Foley? Y'all been together for a while.
Shoot, we're going on 11 years. I was 15 whenever I first saw Sean, and now I'm 26. So
you're so old. He's so old. Damn it,
strong.
damn it, Cam. You make me feel old and broke. I'm done talking.
Hey, I'm getting old. I'm getting old.
All right, Cam, we got to get you out of here, man. And we send people home the same way every time, Cam. And I know, you know, talking about Sean Foley, I'm actually really interested to hear your rap foursome. Cameron Champ, you're going to go play golf with 4 rappers, dead or alive. I don't care if they play golf or if they do. Great. But who you going to pull up to the course with? Rap foursome right here Beyond the Fairway podcast.
We're going to have to go Dre.
You say Drake or Dre? You say Drake or Dre? Okay, Dre.
Well, because I know Sean would probably be with me, so we're going to have to go like Nas. Okay. We're going to have to go Nas. Damn.
It's a tough one. I know. People they think this is an easy question.
This ain't an easy question.
Yeah, and right now you got me mixed. You East Coast and West Coast. I don't know where you belong, homie.
Oh, I don't know.
Tripping?
He said tripping.
He said tripping out here?
Uh-huh. Man, I don't know.
You got two more guys.
We got two more. We got two more.
You know, you do realize Cameron did pick the 2 billionaire rappers. Like, I'm just saying. Like, Cameron trying to play with some cash. He trying to get some more money.
Dr. Dre paying a little bit right now with his divorce thing right now, so he might need to come on his golf course.
Well, I'm sure he'll have some left over.
Right.
Damn, I don't know. 2 more.
I mean, you hit balls with Schoolboy Q.
I'm not gonna want.
You hit balls with Schoolboy Q. Y'all did that.
Ain't no wrong with Drake.
Oh shoot! Yeah, okay. Actually, Q is a good dude. Q.
See, I'm over here throwing people up. All right, Schoolboy Q, Nas, Dr. Dre.
I gotta say IQ. I was gonna say Ice Cube and Eazy-E and get the whole crew back.
Man, do it.
Cameron, everybody that thought you was too light-skinned, you going with the NWA right now? Just brought your
all the way back. NWA.
That's perfect. Look, I'm good. He gonna play with the NWA.
And we gotta make sure our producer Brian shows NWA Eazy-E with the Jericho Juice Eazy-E.
Oh.
We gotta have.
Yeah, it looks like he's just dripping
the original drip
out of his hair.
Oh, man. Cam, I hate to do it, man. We got to get you out of here. Look, Will and myself, we can't thank you enough jumping in here, going beyond the fairway with us. Look, you got fans in us. Whenever you need us to pull up and talk some stuff to some people, let us know. We'll be there. We'll always be in support of whatever you're doing on and off the golf course. Best of luck as the season, well, I guess it wraps around almost because y'all got, you're going to playoffs. Best of luck in the playoffs, Cam. Can't thank the big homie himself, Cameron Champ, coming in here, going beyond the fairway with us, man. Cameron, man, I've met Cameron Will a few years ago, like 10 years ago, and it's been amazing to see his progression where Sean and he have taken his golf swing, his golf game, and now as he's maturing into a man, a married man, trying to understand how to deal with being a professional athlete, dealing with the media, being a husband, and one day a father. He's showing a level of maturity, Will, that I think is beyond his years.
Yeah, I kind of mentioned it, alluded to it during the interview. I feel like he's starting to find himself. Getting an understanding of who he is and what makes him tick. My coach James Black will always say he has found salvation, was once lost and now he's found. That's salvation. So now as he moves forward in his golf career, he has a sense of freedom. He has a sense of enjoyment of the game. Big difference. It's a big difference between being happy and being joyful. And I think he is in that joyful state now. So I think we're going to see some more good things out of him.
I feel like you always got to go through something to get to something. Cameron
Absolutely.
went, he missed, I want to say something like 7 cuts, started to kind of find his way and then broke through there in Minnesota at the 3M, Will. But, something he said that I found really interesting is through all the the backlash, that's the wrong word, through all the results and things that have happened via George Floyd and these Grow the Game initiatives in the minority space since, George Floyd's murder, nobody on the PGA Tour, not one person, has approached Cameron to have, those necessary conversations about race and inclusion. I find that to be interesting. I've been approached by multiple friends to have conversations about, race and sport, but nobody said anything to Cameron Champ. I find that interesting.
And the thing about it is, when you have somebody who is of the culture, and he's in a whirlpool of different cultures where he definitely can speak to the situation at hand. It kind of makes you wonder why nobody haven't come to approach him and have a conversation. Because one thing about it is, that's one thing, is that we always lack a portal or entry into these tough conversations. The guy is right there at your disposal, And kudos to you, Doug, for I can't believe you did and said it, for using the word token on Beyond the Fairway.
That's what we do here, man. We have it.
Man said token. Good man.
But he's got to feel something like that. Like, that's my attitude. Like, he's one of the few blacks out on tour. He identifies as being black, even though he's biracial. I feel like there's always that level, and you've experienced it. I've experienced it. We've gone to these clubs, and it's like, hey,
oh hell yeah,
hey, there's a black guy.
There go our friend.
So, yeah. Look, no, I have a black friend. If you can count your black friends, we got some problems. First of all, but I use that to be purposeful, Will, because one thing that I it baffles me. I don't understand it. Is Cameron is so vocal, wearing the names of fallen folks on his shoes, wearing one white, one black shoe.
And nobody come and said a thing. Ask a question.
Exactly. But you know what? I've read the comments and the posts on all those, things that were put out in social media. Cameron lost so many fans by choosing to speak up about racial injustice. And that hurts my feelings. But you know what? The fact that he was able to just bootstrap it and trudge forward and say, look, I got a platform. This is what I care about. I'm not going to shut up. I'm going to amplify this message. I love it. And if you don't like me, fine. I'm cool. I'm me.
Right.
And that's
the thing about it, I hope Champ keeps doing that, because you see a lot of narratives out there that I'm not trying to get too political, but people in DC or whatever are trying to attach certain causes to and trying to brand it in a certain way. And you need Cameron in his platform to debunk those branding tactics that aren't true, that kind of get the public riled up. So I'm all for what Cameron's doing. If he needs us, here are we. Send us.
Here are we. Hey, my thing is, look, if the industry itself is really trying to grow the game and make golf your thing to people, right? Then Cameron needs to be front and center. We need to talk to Cameron. We need to pick his brain about what he's going through, what he's experiencing.
Authentic conversations, though, Doug. Authentic conversations.
I like it.
That's
real
the key.
ones. Yeah,
That's
not
the key.
These fake, fluffy panel discussions. So, we know you're a black man in golf. You know what I mean? No bullshit like that. But you know what? On a lighter note, Will, and I know this means something to you. Annika Sorenstam took home the U.S. Senior Women's Open Championship over the weekend, kind of overshadowed by the Olympics, in my opinion. But can she win anything else?
For some reason, she hasn't won the ACC yet. I don't know why. She lost to Vinny Del Negro this year. But
I like that you called him Del Negro. Like, it's Negro. It's all right. Like,
I know, but we can be on the fair. We got to twist some things up. So Del Negro had a great. Del Negro had a great. Doug, we gotta be serious here. I'm focused, bro. So Del Negro had a great appearance at ACC, and Annika's at the top leaderboard, and she kind of fell off, but regardless, we got to saw her presence, and I think that was maybe a training platform for her to get ready for this U.S. Senior Open, And I'm glad.
The ACC. You're saying by her playing in the American Century was her getting ready for the U.S. Women's Open.
I saw her on the range grinding all week.
Well, she knew she had a tournament coming up,
She's the greatest to do it on another level. Now the U.S. Seniors Women's Champion of 2021 during the year of the 2020 Olympics.
You can't let that go, man. That's funny as hell to me. Like, you cannot let that one go, man.
I can't. Riddle me that one. She won a 2021 U.S. Open during the year the 2020 Olympics were happening.
Are you Harlem shaking right now?
I was because I was trying
I was
trying to emphasis to my point. I couldn't figure out.
This is why I love this guy, Will Lowery. This is why we go beyond the fairway every week. But Will, it's time to get to it. Shake of the week.
Hey Doug, so let me tell you about my shake of the week. Let me cut you off. I know usually you go first, but I'm a little upset and I'm bothered by this one. 2 Dutch golfers who represent the Netherlands qualified per the IOC qualifications to qualify and play in the 2021/2020 Olympic Games, right? They played this year and last year games, right? And they qualified for it, but the Netherlands said, no, you cannot participate because your ranking is outside the top 100 in the world. Per the IOC, they qualified to go play in the Olympic Games. But the Netherlands said, hell no, you don't qualify to represent us. And I pretty much think that's a shank of the week. So my prayers are with Joost Loudon and Will Blessinling. Doug, did I say that right?
Close. But nah,
Okay.
that's actually a really good one, Will, because that's some cold-bloodedness. Like,
That's cold-blooded.
I earned the right to represent my country, and my country said you're not good enough to represent us.
Absolutely. And outside the 100, a guy, what was it? I think Joost Loudon is 200 in the world.
200.
Guess who won the bronze
We
medal?
know CT Pan won the bronze. We get
But
it.
what was he ranked, Doug? What was he ranked? Say it.
208th.
There you go.
He was ranked better than Sabatini and Pan. Both of them.
I think they need to reevaluate their qualifications, cuz.
Will, my shank of the week, along the lines, something similar to what you got going on, but it goes to, I don't even know who to give it to. It's whoever tested Paula Reddo for her COVID vaccine, or her COVIDness, right? She was tested for COVID. She was found positive. She got a positive COVID test after the 3rd round of the Amundi Evian Masters. Will, this is what baffled me. Somebody sent over the wrong results. She actually tested negative, but they told her she was positive. So not only did she have to withdraw from the championship she was currently in 40th in, she's trying to keep her card, you know what I'm saying? She was up there, trying to keep her card, doing her thing. Had to withdraw, Will. They had to pull her out of the championship, and guess what? Because of that, she was ineligible to compete in the Olympics. She earned her spot to represent her country in the Olympics. She had a positive COVID test that was actually negative. She had to pull out of the Olympics. Man, I don't even know how to
They really affect
express
you.
myself
You just
angry. Like she's trying to keep bread on the table, and somebody pushed the wrong button, with the COVID results, and now, she missed 2 events when she could have, got herself in a position to compete next year. That's cold-blooded, man. Like, you work so hard for this stuff. Like, players work so hard, especially if you, in that, 125 to 150 rank on PGA Tour. The end of your year is going to determine if you got a job next year. And this woman's doing her thing, and you're going to give me some BS that I tested positive when I'm actually negative. She had her mask on and everything. She was fine. I'm sorry. It hits me in a special place. I'm just saying, dude,
I gotta cool you off.
This is cold-blooded. This is so cold-blooded on so many levels. You know what?
Stammered. You just stammered quietly.
I know. I'm stammering. I'm acting like you in here. I can't even get it out. I'm so angry.
You said this. You did this. You said this.
I did.
Damn
it. Hey, but Paula, you know what? In the words of Will Lowery, kudos to you. Held it together, handled it with class and grace, and best of luck to you as you continue on your LPGA Tour career. And that's it, right there. Shank of the week, right here. You only get it beyond the fairway. Hey, you know what to do.
It was hot up in here.
Listen, subscribe, share it. Share this with people. I know you want people to. We got Joost Luton out here. He can't even represent his country. Paula Reddo, she's over here getting bad
False
COVID
tests.
meetings. It's like we got things to discuss. Appreciate you, Cameron Champ, coming in here, going beyond the fairway with us. We'll be back next week. Who's gonna be in here? Not gonna tell you. Gotta tune in right here, Golf Channel NBC. Holla.
Doug, how many times you gonna say not gonna tell you? Because we don't know either. Stop playing.